don't even know whether you are answering the query raised by the Auditor General. I don't think you're dealing with the issue. If 14.3 million, is it true that 14.3 million was spent on emoluments?
Yes.
Under the free maternity program?
Yes.
So that observation is correct?
Yeah.
So what are you correcting? Because that correction is not just an accounting issue. We could be even talking of other administrative and other sanctions that must accompany it.
Okay, thank you, Chair. The amount was erroneously charged to the free maternity vote, but what we are saying is that we have passed the journal entry to correct that error in the financial statements.
Okay. I think in your next responses, be less casual than in this first one. This one is very casual. Senator Matangi.
I just wanted to pick that. I don't know whether the gentleman there answering. You are the CEC or CEO? Finance?
Head of financial reporting.
Oh, head of financial reporting. I don't know how you are responding to this query on a serious note, because you are reading the query and answering only to the fact stated in the last line or last sentence of that paragraph. But you need to answer to it starting from the figures cumulative, from the amounts which are stated. You see, it's from the 87 million, which is, you see, that is part of the disclosure of 87 million. It's not a standalone figure of 14 million. I don't know whether we are reading in the same page. You do not have two separate figures, one for 14 and one for 87. The 14 is included in the 87. And the 87 is for personnel, is for free maternity. But it is in the 87 where the 14 is included. So the explanation you're offering cannot it can't work. The only probably feasible route or course of action you'll be saying you've taken is that you've reallocated the funds. Once you say you've reallocated the funds, then now we fall back to the law, where you reallocate development funds to recurrent. I mean, that's the only way. But otherwise, if the auditor was talking about two separate figures, that there was a figure of 87 and another figure of 14, you would say you misstated the 14. That's the only way you could misstate it. But once it is included in the figure, it is part of your budgeting. So it was intended for that purpose.
Yes. Professor, then Senator Kibiru, then Senator Murkomen.
It's a very simple answer, Governor. This money was not budgeted for emoluments. You made a decision to pay for personnel emoluments. During the audit process, during the exit period, this issue must have been flagged out. Why didn't you take the corrective measure at that time? If you knew that this was a figure which was wrongly applied to a development budget being spent for recurrent expenditure on salaries and emoluments.
Okay, Senator Kibiru.
Chair, I keep on asking this question and I've never gotten the correct answer. Chair, last time when we were in Mombasa, and time and again, we have been taken through the audit process. Chair, we will spend another 30 minutes discussing on something that the governor, who is the CEO of Elgeiyo Marakwet, and the CC's charge of finance would have sat down as professionals and sort out that issue during the audit process. I don't know, Chair, what happened, because the auditor came, you had a meeting, he wrote a management letter, he gave you a draft audit, and you are unable to convince the auditors. So, Chair, I don't know where we are and why we should be entertaining somebody for purpose of negligence to come here and spend our time on issues that they should have sorted out at that particular time.
In health, we've been facing challenges. Every financial year we have deficits because there are issues which are beyond our control. For example, Chair, at the moment, all our CEOs are on strike, and there are CBS which are always signed at the national level, and when these are signed, it's upon us to implement them. So every time we face challenges in terms of meeting the personnel emoluments for health, and this is a very sensitive department, Chair, which if these people don't receive their salaries, it becomes a big challenge, because they always they have very strong union and they always go on strike. But on this matter, Chair, I want to assure you that this was corrected, and as stated, I know maybe we've not provided all the explanations on this, but I want to assure you that it was corrected, and moving forward, we'll ensure that the right fortes are charged for personnel emoluments.
To be clear, this free maternity disbursement, was this a conditional grant?
Chair, for every delivery that happens under the free maternity, we are given reimbursement.
Yeah, so but we will call it a conditional grant, for lack of better. And I think, Majority Leader, we have noted that there are serious gaps in oversight of these grants. I will give an example of road maintenance levy fund, which we have seen in other counties. The money is sent to counties, and counties, instead of maintaining roads, they use that to do other activities. And so we need to tighten that framework for oversight of conditional grants, because this is also another example where governors can make a decision that they need to pay salaries. Let's get it from the reimbursement on free maternity. There was something you're trying to explain in closing?
Yeah, Chair, I was talking about when you look at these conditional grants, there is no way it can be lost, because the committees in every facility, they make a follow-up on this, and we always have to reimburse all the money to the facilities. So the only challenge with this is that sometimes there are delays, and it may, in one way or the other, affect services in those facilities.
So this 14 million that used to pay salaries, has it now been recovered and reimbursed to the relevant health centers?
Yes, Chair.
There will need to be some evidence to that. And that's why I was saying your response is casual, almost lazy. It's not just an issue of restating your financial statements. You must also provide evidence that this 14 million was reversed and allocated to the facilities that delivered those children.
Maybe what would want to understand is, if it was a reversal, where was it reversed from? Because Governor, what you need to be to avoid or not have is probably what you would call vote hunting for more funds, because then once you have to fill that hole where you've spent 14 million, then your officers will go again hunting from other voted monies to again come and fill in the next hole. And you are better off dealing with the problem the way it is. First own up to the problem if you have a problem with the employee emolument, and say this is the magnitude of the problem, and this is the amount that we have to pay. And then that can be dealt with for what it is. But I think if we take that, my view would be, Chair, that explanation would not work for purposes of accounting, really. It would not work. Whatever they are trying to say, it wouldn't work.
Could we look at, before the Governor responds, issue number 2, because there is a relationship. Here, free maternity disbursement is being used to pay salaries. The next one, there is inconsistency in numbers, so we don't know the real cost of compensation of employees. Look at issue number 2, then we can take a global view on the state of the payroll and employee management in Elgeiyo Marakwet.